Today, the McLaren F1 team were fined $100 million and they were kicked out of the Constructors' Championship back in 2007. And it's all because of the infamous Spygate. So here is a compressed summary of one of the biggest scandals in F1 history. It's 2007 and Nigel Stepney from the Ferrari F1 team felt like he had been overlooked for a promotion, especially when he was often attributed to Ferrari's success at the time. So he gave his friend Mike Coughlin, who was from McLaren, 780 pages of confidential technical information. However, Coughlin's wife made a little bit of a mistake. She decided to make copies of the information in a shop in Woking. And it just so happened that the person who served her was a major Ferrari fan. And as we all know, the Tifosi are very loyal. So he emailed Ferrari with his suspicions. Then the situation developed very quickly. It ended up going to the UK courts, the Italian courts, and the FIA did their own investigation. But the FIA cleared McLaren because apparently Coughlin had only acted alone and the information hadn't been shared with the rest of the staff. But then comes Alonso. During the 2007 F1 season, him and Hamilton were teammates at McLaren and they did not get along. And essentially, Alonso wasn't happy with the way that McLaren were handling the teammates. So, at the Hungarian Grand Prix, he went to Ron Dennis, who was the team principal at the time, and threatened to release further information to the FIA about Spygate, unless McLaren ensured that Hamilton ran out of fuel at the race. This led to Dennis telling the FIA president about the conversation, but he assured him that they were empty threats. However, on the 5th of September, the FIA reopened the investigation, and this is because they received new information, the new information being drivers' emails. Now, Alonso was partially to blame for this, but it isn't because he went to the FIA. You see, he told Briatore about what he knew of the situation, and then Briatore told Ecclestone, who then told the FIA president. And so apparently the FIA president had known about these emails before Hungary. The investigation used a lot of emails from Alonso and De La Rosa, which show that they very clearly knew the extra Ferrari information. However, the drivers weren't penalised because they agreed to cooperate. On the 13th of September 2007, the World Motorsport Council decided that McLaren were guilty. They had held on to illegal information and it had spread further than just Coughlin. This led to McLaren being fined $100 million, which is one of the largest sporting fines ever. Also, they were removed from the Constructors' Championship, which they would have won otherwise, and they continue to feel the impact of the situation in the following season. They were being closely watched, and apparently there were multiple checks to ensure that their car wasn't too similar to Ferrari's, and it affected their relationship with their innocent engine provider Mercedes, because Mercedes were shareholders, so they were also liable for the fine. And this had a kind of domino effect that led to the creation of the Mercedes F1 team.